Hey, this is a great question. Maybe we can clip this of what does it mean to you to be a small town? What does that small town feel mean to you? I think that is a great question. And to me, it's a feeling. I don't know if there's one thing. It's the farmers market. The fact that we have one. It's tiny, but it's
forget me not.
Yeah,
right. Small town feel. It's not
little cafes.
Gather.
Even the car show. There's community events like that. Anyway,
all right. Now we're live.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about a different story, but
that story was interesting too.
Yeah. No, these are always good conversations. Back with the Buffalo Community Podcast, solo recording day. In between guests, but we just kind of talked about how Buffalo's changed a bit. We don't get too far into the weeds, but there's a lot of changes going around.
But we might get. Is my mic on?
Mm-hmm. Oh, great.
Are my headphones on?
I thought we weren't going to do that anymore.
Yeah, there we go. That sounds better.
All right. Does it?
I think so.
But, a lot of changes in the face of Buffalo right now over the last few years. Now, as lifers here, we grew up next to each other. When we went to go out and bike on the main road, that was 3rd Avenue, which is over by the middle school, which was gravel shoulders. There was no sidewalks or anything like that. It was dangerous. Mm-hmm. But we're kids of the 90s. You could do that. But now we've changed completely different with new apartments going in, the Randall Farm, a couple of government center, kind of some of the things going on downtown. What's that going to look like? Let's just kind of, boom, development and changes of Buffalo.
Yeah, I think obviously going from a town of 8,000 to a town of pushing 20.
Yeah.
Over the, a relatively short, I don't know what normal growth looks like, but, in this area, west of the Twin Cities, but still close to the Twin Cities, those communities are growing rapidly.
Yeah.
Right. I've said it before on this podcast, but I'm just thankful we don't have a freeway running through because we don't see the St. Michael type growth. And, I'm assuming Monticello is probably growing too, but, so as much as, you always you hear it a lot, right? A schmedium city with a small town feel, right? Everybody wants a small town feel.
Yeah.
And I think for the most part we are that, but at some point your growth just doesn't allow.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable
right.
that in some aspects you're going to lose a small town feel.
Yeah.
The more amenities and things that are positive that you bring in, you lose a lot more of that small town feel because you bring in more people.
Yeah.
Right. So example of some positive amenities that what comes to mind when you say that?
I can tell you what came to my mind right away.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Because I remember when it was built, it was Walmart, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
Walmart was kind of Buffalo's first step outside of, hey, we're going to compete and probably put out of business some of our staple downtown, main strip, highway businesses because they can't sell bread for 99 cents.
Right.
They can't, like that kind of opened Pandora's box, I think, was bringing mistake. I'm not here to say we should, but
yeah,
that opens the door to Target.
Mm-hmm. I do remember Target's opening.
To Cub Foods, to, just larger.
Menards.
Right.
Sure.
And that's kind of when it all started.
From an outsider perspective, when we were moving to Buffalo, I grew up in a town of like 7,000 people. It's still around 7,000. 7,000 people. Never, hasn't really changed. And coming to a place like Buffalo, you had a Walmart and a Target.
Yeah. City folk.
And a Cub and now Coburn. You just had all the options. It felt like
which was appealing.
Buffalo. Yeah. Oh yeah. For someone coming into it, I don't actually have to leave town to go to these things.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. You know, when I take a step back looking at it, understanding that development is inevitable. It's nice having those things. I remember growing up before Menards was here. Anytime my parents needed to do something on their house, it was like, we're headed to Golden Valley to Menards or St. Cloud or Maple Grove. Like Maple Grove was relatively new as well, but we were always traveling, which seemed like an eternity.
Right.
You know, but that's as a kid, you know, looking out. So that, you know, but the Target coming to town, did you get your hands in the concrete?
I think my brother did.
Yeah. I remember sitting in line forever and you got to put your hand, I think a hand, in the concrete out front. It's no longer there anymore.
They just troweled right over it after you were done.
Yeah. It's like, all right, kid, let's go next. Yeah. It wasn't actually concrete.
And Target said, "See, we're about the community. Look at the kids' handprints.
Yeah,
we're here to play nice with everybody."
Yeah. So I mean, that's a big difference, kind of growing up into it. But you know, all those aspects where you're thinking. I mean, let's talk a little bit about that small town feel, and I think that's going to be downtown. You know, where we have a one-way division street. You know, that's still pretty downtown. Mm-hmm. You know, I've seen some concept plans for revamping Wide Street. I don't know have you seen that?
No.
It's worth taking a look at that. I remember filling out a survey on, you know, some concept plans, and I think there's going to be some upgrades. You know, it sounds like there's going to be some movement of County Road 35 around the government center. So kind of like it is going to shape shift a little bit. And change is always hard for people to comprehend, and it's like change, like you can't stop it,
right?
Unless you wanted to write a big check, you know. That's just we're that close to the cities.
Yeah. You could move to, and this is by no means saying anything bad about these communities, but you can move to Dassel or Cokato, and you're going to have those towns are going to look very similar 25 years from now, probably. Yeah. You know, but yeah, with our proximity to the cities and people's desire to maybe get out of that city life to start a family or, you know, what have you, they can still work there. And so, yeah, you know, and then you hear a lot of chatter on community pages in various places about people wanting more amenities, and amenities are great, right? But oftentimes they're municipally owned, taxpayer funded, and so attracting more people and encouraging growth in our community is how those things are going to get paid for and funded. But strategically, how do you grow, not just for the sake of growth, but, you know, striving to keep a big city in a small town feel, right? You got to be strategic because you only have one shot to do it.
Right.
You can't start over and try again because you learned something in the process, right? So like that's very difficult, I would imagine, and knowing that you have 17,000 people and everybody's going to have an opinion on it. No, not everybody's going to be happy.
No. And I don't think people really understand or they fear to admit to themselves, or they lack to admit to themselves of it's not the city's responsibility to say, yes, put a grocery store there.
Right.
You know, I mean, if it's not like if you build it, they will come. I mean, there's people and investors and developers that look at like, do the demographics actually support it? And I'll tell you how much sentimental value there is in dollar for dollar. It's zero. You know, that they don't care. You know, it doesn't matter, unfortunately. But that's, if they're going to go build something, they want to be able to return on their investment. And that's why we see a lot of those, the Facebook comments. Well, they should put something here. The city should do this. The city should do that. It's like, well, it's not the city's responsibility to do that.
Yeah.
You know.
But go for it.
Yeah. You should. You should do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, not to say that these aren't great ideas, but, you know, it's people with money that need to actually make it happen.
Right. We've talked about it, right? We need pizza, wings, beer.
That's right.
Somebody should do that.
Yep.
Somebody should take my idea and do that.
Won't even ask for a big chunk of it.
Right.
Just a little bit.
Just a 1/8 slice.
Yeah. Yeah, just some free food every now and then.
Well, actually, you know, I'm pretty hungry. You might make it 2/8.
Yeah.
But Yeah, one for me. I'm excited for some of this development to happen, just to kind of change. But again, people aren't comfortable with change usually. Anything, it's just growing pains of it. I know there's a set of some people that are upset about a grant received to tear down the old government center. I don't get what they're so upset about.
What is the concern? Like, I don't understand why they would be upset about something that's not being used, that's out of date, being torn down to build something else. Like, what's the concern?
Is it the grant, or is it the fact that it's getting torn down?
From my outside looking in, it seems like it's everything.
Yeah.
Oh, they should just repurpose that building. Well, at some point, I mean, you know what it worked really well for? A government center.
And a jail.
Yeah.
It's
like,
good at that.
It's like just because it's there doesn't entitle anybody else to like their rights to it of, oh, they should do something for X or whatever, or, house the homeless or anything. Well, who's paying for that? That's also something. But, I've seen people really upset that they got a grant. Now, grants are taxpayers' money at some point, coming from the state, whether it's my dollar, your dollar, or somebody from Grand Rapids. It's that's what it is, to be able to put back into the community, which I think if you haven't checked it out, go to the City of Buffalo's website and look at the concept drawing of like, how cool is this going to be? I think it actually highlights and beautifies the usability of the library.
Yeah.
That I don't know if it's underused or overused. I just know that it's a
haven't
nice,
been in there in a while.
It's been a minute. They go, you still
audio
read
books.
We have a library,
but it's a nice chunk of property that now will probably get used a little bit better, and highlighted more. Versus,
like grants are going to get used whether it's here or not. Like, it's not like we're being charged more taxes and an additional grants. This is what our tax money is going to. It could be here or it could be somewhere else in the state. Someone's getting a grant.
Right. Yep. And it's tens of millions of dollars to build these things. I mean, it's a big thing. But I don't get how people are so upset. I mean, unless they just like to be keyboard warriors with some of that development.
Yeah, I mean, and I can understand. Maybe it just goes back to just like you do just get one shot to do this right? So I think people just want to make sure it's not something that is going to be a regretful decision to. But like as far as the government center goes, like that county road that is 35, right? Like pulling that off of the lake is kind of the plan, right? To say, okay, at some point it's going to veer off the lake and connect somewhere's downtown-ish, and then you have a little bit more user-friendly lake access, and then access to whatever's being built, maybe more neighborhood streets to get to your townhome or apartment or whatever.
Yeah, and there's a mix of patio homes and apartments and commercial space there, and pickleball courts, and then a marina, which I think is, I'll take a hot take. I think it's stupid to have a marina. It's Buffalo Lake. I mean, it's Buffalo Lake. It's people that grew up here. It's not Pulaski, but it's Buffalo Lake, and people use it. It's not a terrible lake. It's not the worst lake I've ever seen, but it's also not a lake that I think marina. Like, hey, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
But anyway,
maybe
that's
you're
just
wrong.
a weird take. And maybe I am wrong.
Yeah,
I just I look at it as just like it is a shallow, feed off lake that gets pumped in from Pulaski, and to me it's just we have such great lakes around here. I just don't rate it as an A lake.
Right.
So, but maybe that's a hot take.
Maybe an A lake in Wisconsin, maybe.
Definitely in South Dakota or North Dakota or
Iowa.
Basically anywhere else.
Yeah.
So, but we're very blessed to have beautiful lakes around here.
Yeah. So Buffalo's growing, and
how would you?
We aren't going to stop.
I'll ask this here for you guys who are lifers here. I agree. Buffalo is a small town feel. It's to me a big town. It's a city. What does it even mean to have a small town feel? Like, what could you keep the same that would maintain that small town, even though we are going to grow? Like, it is happening already. So like, how do you grow well so that you maintain that small town? Because that's the selling point, right?
Yeah. I think.
Great point.
Yeah. I think part of it is I guess this doesn't really answer your question, but I think of like a St. Michael, right? Who kind of epitomized small town while we were growing up and is now a bedroom community where that town has experienced so much growth that, you know, do you have an engaged citizenship?
Right.
Or is it just where you put your head at night, wake up in the morning, you know? And so I think part of it is having, I don't want to turn into a bedroom community. So it doesn't answer your question, but it just, people who live here, maybe hopefully work here. But I don't know. The more I talk about it, the more I'm like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a great question. I don't really know. The only thing I can think of is just a community of people who care about their town, are engaged with their town, and aren't just sleeping here. And
That's a great point. Like,
I don't know.
Luke, we're going to stop having you ask questions now because they're too hard to answer.
Yeah.
I just, from an outside perspective, someone that's coming in here, that's one of the reasons why we wanted to be here, we agree with the sentiment 100%. Like it does have that small town feel. We do love how, like, I can go to Target and run into people I know. I can go to Walmart and run into people I know. I can go downtown and run into people I know. I love that feel of it. But I do love the amenities. I do like the things coming into town.
Yeah.
So like, I agree with the sentiment. I just don't understand. Like, you ask this question on the community page, you'll get 100 different answers, and none of them will be alike.
Hey, this is a great question. Maybe we can clip this of what does it mean to you to be a small town? What does that small town feel mean to you? I think that is a great question. And to me, it's a feeling. I don't know if there's one thing. It's the farmers market. The fact that we have one. It's tiny, but it's
forget me not.
Yeah,
right. Small town feel. It's not
little cafes.
Gather.
Even the car show. There's community events like that. To me that's what that little town, small town feel is. Even trick or treating, this last weekend, or the businesses, is those types of things. There's still a main street of businesses that, I would say a lot of the people downtown that have businesses down there, that they are involved in some type of community, event, whether or service groups or anything like that. But, there's an active part of, owners and occupants, and it's active, by community members versus we have a lot of people from outside coming in. So maybe it's just more of an internal feel.
Yeah. And maybe there's a reason they call it a small town feel.
Yeah.
Right. I guess what would make it feel not like a small town, it would be to get rid of all of your mom and pop shops, replace them with chain businesses. And so you can kind of give some characteristics of what a small town is and how you could lose that. But to answer the question, there is, like, to your point, you're going to get 100 different answers. There's no right answer. It's just, it's one of those things where you hear it and you kind of know what it means. It's just hard to describe.
Yeah. And maybe even like you go down to crime. Like, I don't know our crime statistics. I generally feel safe in Buffalo.
Totally.
Like, but and I think if it's people, if you hear some of these flashes in the pans of like, oh, a neighborhood got got hit by people breaking into cars or whatever, or, there's some tomfoolery going downtown or some suspicious looking characters, I think that's all going to come with more people and growth. Yeah. Not to say none of that stuff ever happened in small town America, 30 years ago.
Right.
It's just what it is. And it's easier to share those stories. You just post it online and it's a shared story. I kind of look at that I don't know, but certainly, there's growth there. And I think the thing that limits us is the fact that we don't have a major highway going through
thankfully
Buffalo.
Yeah.
And that limits some of our ability to bring more amenities, to attract larger scale businesses that pay for a lot of those amenities in the town. Right. But it also eliminates some of the problems that, Monticello has as well.
Yep.
With a big tech company or whatever. What was that? What's that thing coming to Monticello?
Oh,
data center.
Yeah.
Data center. There's benefits there, but they also have power plants there too, that pay a ton of, I'm assuming a ton of taxes. That
I would imagine.
It has to be, so.
Yeah, it's nothing is all good, nothing's all bad, right? And so everybody's going to have an opinion on it, myself included, and by all means share those opinions, right? But ultimately, if something's profitable, it's going to be hard to say no to. And
Jenny and I were thinking the other day, we went up to the Kids Knowledge Bowl meet, which I actually called Nerd Wars from now on, and the kids love that. But my kids, so no offense to anybody else.
Yeah.
I super enjoy Knowledge Bowl. If that's what I knew it was, I probably would have joined, but I didn't know. So anyway, we're up at St. Catherine's and St. Cloud, which is like an old Catholic school, and you go in, and we went into an elementary school, and Jenny's like, "Oh, isn't this great?" It just kind of brings you back to that time when you were a kid. And I said, boy, if we could grab our family and go back to 1991 or 2, I would love for my kids to have my childhood growing up. It was a feeling, when you go in there, you're trying to sit on this tiny little chair, watching your kids play. But it's the artwork, it's the lockers, it's everything that brings you back to a time where is gone. So I don't know. That was kind of fun. 90. I'd go back to 92.
91. Watched Twins win World Series. And,
that's true.
Yeah. Back when, man, what a disaster Minnesota sports are right now. Just across the board. Like, name a professional sport and things just aren't good. Well, even the Lynx season, they had success, but like
they were expected to win.
The season ended with Cheryl Reeve just eviscerating the league, and Collier just, so like she gets hurt, we lose, like just negativity after a successful season.
Minnesota Frost.
There you go.
But that's about it.
Right.
Skull Frost.
Yeah. Are they winning this year?
I couldn't tell you anything.
Are they playing? Right
I know they won last year.
Yeah.
And the year before too, right? I think there's
2 consecutive.
Back to back. It's cold.
So, but
anyway.
But yes, terrible Minnesota sports.
So, Bison in the section final. Hopefully, this will air after that, but maybe we're celebrating it in Bison soccer.
I want to comment a little bit on Bison soccer. What it feels to be a small town. Now, I couldn't go to the game, the semifinal game, but I actually paid for a subscription to watch it online. A couple of guys at the office, they went down. That's what it feels to be a small town. Is like, sorry, business is closed today. Our high school boys soccer team is in the state semifinals.
Yep. And I was at the quarterfinal game.
Yeah.
And 07 Bison basketball.
Yep.
When the town shut down, and I think even one of the announcers said, "Hey, the last person to leave Buffalo, just shut out and make sure they shut the lights off," right? Like, because Target Center and every venue we played at, Hollenbeck Hall in St. Cloud State, Williams Arena at U of M, was consumed with Buffalo people. I mean, these other towns, I think we're just like, why do so many people care about this? Well, it's because we're a small town.
Yeah. And it doesn't happen that often.
It doesn't happen that often. Yeah. So
I loved it. I mean, that's what it means to feel like a small town.
Yeah.
I'm watching the online version of it because the boys went down 2-0 pretty quickly in the game. It felt like a Minnesota sports game right there. Just how they said, well, yeah, really big battle for Buffalo here. Maple Grove's just kind of handling them. I mean, and that's like listen to any announcer against the Vikings or the Twins. Well, it's to be expected. I mean, that's how it felt. And I'm just like, man, I am just like in the wrong region of the United States here. But oh man, it was just to see the student interactions. I mean, they took third, which is great. They lose to 1. I guess we'll find out if we could probably find out if Maple Grove won or not. But that was the Lake Conference, state tournament, really. Mm-hmm. So congrats to all of them, all the coaches, the families. It's fantastic. But
represented our small town real nice.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes us feel good.
Yeah. So. Well, I mean, you look at the teams they competed against. Edina, right?
Yep.
Maple Grove. Wayzata, right? Those are different communities than Buffalo. And Buffalo, in comparison, is a small town. So
just ask them.
Where's Buffalo?
We gotta go to Buffalo.
It's like 45 minutes that way. 45 minutes?
Well, funny you say that because a Knowledge Bowl meet was over in Eden Valley. And you're like, oh my gosh, 45 minutes west of Buffalo is god-awful. It's like, are we there yet? Are you sure the school's not in Watkins?
Yeah.
I mean, we got to go another 8 miles. I mean, so...
You're like, ooh, there's a car.
I'm guilty of it, know, but like once you get past Annandale, it drops off pretty dang quick. But
if it was in Eden Prairie, you'd be like, oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, like all the highways are lit.
Yeah, that's only like 45 minutes away.
Right. Yeah, oh man, this is a Midwest problem. It's totally
a Buffalo problem.
Yeah, but
everything's an hour away.
I think Buffalo is the Minnesota. What Buffalo is to Minnesota, what Minnesota is to the United States. I feel that. Feel-wise. Size, always kind of get forgotten. Sports, it's just like, that's how I feel. Yeah, it's a hot take. Maybe not completely different, but I don't know.
Cool. Well,
if you're listening this long, thank you.
Yeah, right.
But
let us know your thoughts. What's a small town? The question of the day.
For the Buffalo Community Podcast, I'm Tyler Reiss.
Mark Benzer.
Luke Edlund.
That's such a bad ending.
Thanks for listening to the Buffalo Community Podcast, produced by Edlund Media. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube, as well as anywhere you listen to podcasts.